All right, Varinder, thanks a lot for that. Let's talk about some more stocks then. We got Neeraj Diwan and Mayuresh Joshi joining us for closing chat along with Sudarshan Sukhani. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Sudarshan, a word on Hero MotoCorp. That stock is down 5% right now. Is this a selling opportunity, or would you avoid shorting even individual stocks in terms of positional trades?
No, it's down quite dramatically, isn't it? I don't know if there is some news behind it, then probably in a couple of days it becomes a short sell. But today, I wouldn't sell. It's got one of the largest ranges it ever has recorded, Hero MotoCorp. So it's better to avoid selling a blue chip stock like this, at least today. But if there is a reason, if the market continues to feel bearish about it, it becomes a short sell in the next few days.
Okay, Mayuresh Joshi also joins in. Mayuresh, what are you telling your investors or your clients to do at this point in the market?
Afternoon, Sonia. I think clearly at this point of time, qualitative stocks is something that can be looked at. But yes, I think with the kind of situation that we are in currently, weak corporate earnings expected to pan out for at least another quarter, weak international cues, what is probably happening on the domestic scene with the logjam in Parliament, further downsides cannot be ruled out. So I think I'll still wait for further corrections onto the markets. But then within this spaces itself, I think a few sectors that we continue liking, like the private financial space on the banking front, the IT companies, I think this is something that I can look out for. But clearly I think I'll wait for further decline, because I think the selling, in my opinion, is still not over, sentimentally or otherwise.
Okay, selling is not over. Neeraj, is there anything that you would buy in this falling market?
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, actually there will be opportunities. We've seen the kind of market fall in the last 2-3 days plus today's big fall. But I think seeing the environment, I think I'd better wait for some more time. Seeing the logjam in the Parliament, corporate is also not great. Global picture is not that great. So I'm not seeing too much of a downside in the market. Maybe another 2-3 percentage points on the Nifty. But I think there are stocks where the results have been good, especially in the kind of stocks even that we cover in the mid-cap sector. There are stocks like housing finance companies, some NBFCs, there's defense plays. So they are showing some better results. So I think those kind of stocks I'll look at buying, but maybe wait for a couple of days and see where the market is making a base.
Alright, well, let's get you some ideas before we end for trade. Meghna Malkan joins in to tell you what to buy or sell now for a reverse trade tomorrow. Meghna, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Sonia. I would like to give 2 sell calls for the day while looking at the market action. The first call would be a sell on Reliance Infra. It's given a breakdown below important support of 400, hence a sell with a stop of 397 for a target of 375. And the second sell call again on HDIL. Intraday momentum is bearish, it's making lower tops and lower bottoms. Hence a sell with a stop of 85 with a target of 79. Thank you.
Alright, Meghna, thanks a lot for that. Let's get back to our experts then. Sudarshan, a word on Sun TV. Is that a stock where you would be comfortable carrying forward a long position?
No, I wouldn't be. It's a knee-jerk reaction on news. Sun TV overall is not in a bull market. So why should we carry positions in a stock that's, and it responds so actively to anything that happens. I wouldn't touch Sun TV at all.
Mayuresh, Tech Mahindra will announce its numbers in just a while from now, and that stock has been bucking the trend through the day. How are you approaching that company?
So clearly, Sonia, after the profit warning that had come through, you saw a knee-jerk reaction onto the stock. And clearly the estimates suggest that the organic communication business, which contributes 52% of its top line, is going to see weaker growth, as well as the energy segment. So what probably might hold up for Tech Mahindra is its enterprise business. The management again is very hopeful that the enterprise business will grow at a compounded pace, at a much steady pace in the next few quarters. So again, I think cost optimization very much on the cards, and the management again hopeful that from Q3 onwards you will see some revival in earnings. So I think weak numbers more or less factored into the price. We are again expecting just a 0.1% sequential degrowth in dollar terms to around $93 billion. And clearly, I think if you look at the EBITDA margins, you are going to see compression on that front. But I think the markets have largely factored that in. So I think we are liking that stock. So if it declines further from the current levels, it is up right now. But if it does decline after the result, I think it becomes good opportunities for long-term investors to get into the stock.
Okay, that's some more numbers flashing on the screen. Inox Wind, the consolidated net profit has more than doubled from 23.5 crores to 50 crores, and that stock is up 3.5%. So that stock has looked good. Even the income has more than doubled actually, from 304 crores gone up to 635 crores. So this stock really has been up in a sweet spot regardless of what has happened to the market. Let's do one thing actually. We'll address Inox and some more. Sorry, you have something?
Yeah, I'm just reading out from the press release. The EBITDA has come in much better than what they did same time last year. So the EBITDA is at 86.3 crores versus 47 crores. Once again, it comes back to that discussion about, good top line growth that the market is rewarding. And this has been a blowout performance ever since its listing.
Indeed, and it's one of the money spinners for those who would have participated in the IPO. That stock has looked good. But anyway, let's talk about the overall market. Let's just recap the closing rates. It's been a bad day, really. I mean, there's no way to put it apart from the fact that it's been an ugly day in terms of individual stocks. The Nifty, of course, would close below 8400, would close below the 200-day moving average. And in terms of individual stocks, the biggest drag today was from two stocks, ICICI Bank and Larsen & Toubro, in terms of the number of points that they would have dragged the Nifty by. In terms of biggest losers, of course, we had even far bigger losers like Tata Steel, that was down 6%, Hero MotoCorp was down 5%, a lot of stocks were down 4% today, Hindalco, Axis Bank, ONGC, Bharti Airtel, KN India, all that talk of 50% upside gone from KN India, Idea, Lupin, Tata Motors down about 3.5%, Vedanta down 3%, NTPC down 3%, ACC, BHGL, Yes Bank all down about 3%. Yes Bank and Ambuja actually closing below the 200-day moving average in trade today. What else then? Reliance was down about over 2%. That's really the market factor for you. But despite decent numbers, that stock was down about 2%. In fact, there were so many stocks in the red. Let's talk about the stocks that gained ground. The only notable winner today was Tech Mahindra. That stock was higher by about 2%. And by the way, this selling has really come on decent cash market volumes, 16,000 crores, and of course much larger F&O volumes of 4 lakh crores. And Sonia, even the mid-cap performance towards the end was telling you that there was a bit of fear factor.
Oh yes, for sure. The mid-cap index was down more than 1%. The Nifty Junior was down quite a bit. And the market breadth closed at 1:3 in favor of the decline. So not a good day at all for the mid-cap space. The usual suspects fell off the cliff today. It was infrastructure, real estate, all your debt, highly leveraged companies. Look at JP Power down 8%. Look at Syntex down about 5.5%. But of course, you can't put Syntex in that bracket. Lanco Infratech, Adani Enterprises, GVK Power are all the stocks that collapsed today. HDIL down about 4.5%. Alok Industries down about 4%. GMR Infra down 4%. And now most of these stocks with high leverage have been reduced to penny stocks. So the market is sifting the wheat from the chaff. In terms of the good quality numbers that we got, Inox Wind, let's see how that one closes up, because very good set of numbers posted by the company, doubling of profits and revenues this time around. MRF as well, very good margin growth, but the top line growth has been very muted and the stock is up 1.5%. Jindal saw exceptional numbers this time. The stock goes home with a 20% gain. Sun TV and Andhra Bank were a couple of other stocks. Andhra Bank, of course, reacting to a good set of numbers. But all in all, the market has been spooked by a whole host of issues. Top of mind, of course, was the global sell-off that we had. But all that put together has caused the Nifty to slip well below 8,400. I mean, we would not have expected that at the start of trade. Reworking your numbers now, Sudarshan, now what do you expect for expiry later this week?
Well, I think when we talked about this last week, I said it should be about 8,400. And although we are now below 8,400, you never know. So it's a very difficult call. We are just a little weak. That's important to understand.
Okay, Neeraj, let's talk about some of the stocks that are down today. Idea and Bharti, which otherwise have been doing well. Is this a buying opportunity, or right now it may not be a good idea to buy even these stocks?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the kind of movement that we've seen, Bharti has also seen a very good movement. It's been at the higher levels. I think at this price, I'm not really comfortable buying Bharti. So there was some positive news about they're selling some of their assets in Africa, but I think still there is a long way to go where they can improve performance there. And plus the kind of competition which is going to come in telecom going ahead, I think you might have seen that good movement already, and you should be a little cautious at these levels.
Okay. Mayuresh, tomorrow we have a couple of large cap earnings. Maruti will be delivering its numbers tomorrow, and that one has been steady for many months now. What are the expectations this time around, and would you book some profits at these levels, just considering how the market momentum is, or would you hold on?
So clearly, Sonia, if I have bought into the stock at lower levels, clearly I shall hold on to the stock. The earnings momentum would be evident over the next quarters, and though you might have a blip if there are worse than expected monsoons in the next couple of weeks or in the next 4 weeks to say, I think you might have some impact in terms of how the top line pans out. But again, I think we're very, very constructive in terms of the top line growth will pan out for Maruti. The margins should hold up. They've got a decent cash position as well. And though the stock has moved up drastically over the past few weeks, our take is that it is still looking like a very interesting and compelling story within the four-wheeler space. So yes, I think it's a definite hold on to Maruti even at the current levels.
Okay, Sudarshan, did you do a chart check on Andhra Bank? That stock was up today, of course, based on results. But from technical point of view, what's the call here?
The call is it's one of the weaker banks, so I would not buy it among the PSU segment. So it was up, but it did not sustain, it did not hold on to its highs. That's much more important than being higher than Friday. Intraday price action was not satisfactory. It's also not making higher highs, higher lows. One of the most important patterns where we want to say, okay, let's buy this. So it's at best it's an avoid.
Okay, Sudarshan, so from index stocks, what one or two stocks are you comfortable shorting even now from positional point of view? Say first thing tomorrow morning market opens and you say that these stocks are shorting ideas.
No, if first thing tomorrow morning market opens wherever, most metal stocks and auto stocks except for Maruti and are shorting ideas, and probably that includes Ashok Leyland also. I mean, you are really selling into the highs of that stock. But Tata Motors is a short sell, Vedanta is a short sell, then Hindalco, Tata Steel. So these are two segments where it's easy. Apart from that, all PSU banks are short selling ideas. So you said what happens, suppose the Nifty opens 100 points higher. I would still be comfortable selling these three sectors, metals, autos except for Maruti, and PSU banks.
Has the base for this market changed at all, Sudarshan, or is it still that 800 point range for the Nifty and volatility within that?
It's still that 800 point range. It is possible that we may go and visit an area below 8,000. That's likely, but we may not sustain that visit for a long period of time. So it's just 800. Let me remind you, Sonia, you were very young probably. There was a time when the Nifty went for 4 years in a trading range from 2009 to 2013. All of us have become miserable.
What do you mean you were very young? I am still very young, Sudarshan.
That's true. Sorry for that.
No, I'm just kidding. You are younger.
Younger than you were now.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Sudarshan, for all of that, and thank you to the other gentlemen as well for joining us. It's been disappointing, but okay, we'll take it in our stride, right?
They will, but my sense is that the trend has clearly been initiated now.